Okay. So we are now live. Welcome everybody from
Hello.
Twitter and YouTube and Periscope and everything. We are here with Yosnier on, I hope I said that right, yeah?
Technically, yeah.
Okay, close enough. I'll take it. On SuperRare Spotlight. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This is actually going to be one of the last episodes for a while, and we're hoping to start back up sometime in March. Do a little bit of reorganization for the show just to make it better, make it easier for or more exciting for you guys to watch, and have newer guests all the time. But today we are here, and I would love to hear a little bit about your background and how you got started in art, and how you found digital art and working with your style and your portraiture. If you want to share a little bit of that backstory.
Okay. So really, I started art in like my senior year of high school, like in my AP art class, which I don't even know why I took that class because before that I had never like taken like I've never done art, like I don't draw or anything like that, at least not well. So like it was that, and then I spent most of the that like class, for, like the whole semester, just doing nothing, I guess. And then like when came time to do my projects, like I did them the day before. But
Yeah.
yeah, basically just started that way using Illustrator and like Photoshop kind of. And then after that,
So,
oh,
oh, sorry.
no, you're fine.
Go ahead.
I was just
Continue. So you did your AP art.
after that, I stopped doing art for like years, and then I finally picked it back up in August.
So you haven't even really been, involved with with art for really like too long, and I'm sure it must be pretty exciting to see like such a career opportunity from the get-go.
No, I know it's like surprising because I like, I mean, I kind of expected that my life would go this way, but I just didn't expect that it would come from art, really. Because like being an artist, it's hard to even be seen in general, and then like even after being seen, you have to see if people are like receptive to your work and like actually like it, if they bond with
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
it's very intimidating from an outside perspective, like, always wondering, how do people even begin? So I guess what was like, after you took that break of a couple of years, what made you really want to get back into working with Illustrator and Photoshop? I've seen you've gotten like shout outs from the Photoshop Instagram page. You guys are like besties right now. And you've been blowing up with your moon photography. So what really motivated you during, I guess the last summer to get back into it and start creating again?
Well, in the meantime of like those 3 years, I was doing like kind of freelance here and there, but like it wasn't like really art, it was just working for um, some clients and stuff like that. But I guess I was just like in a really low point in my life, at least mentally. Um, and you know how art can be like a catalyst to like, uplift yourself or like express yourself in ways and stuff like that. And then I was just like also trying to learn how to be more vulnerable, but like publicly with other people.
I just got chills. That's so intense. That's such like an interesting message because yeah, it's really difficult to be vulnerable publicly, and I think art is a very unique platform to channel that through. That's really and a lot of your work incorporates like music and stuff, which also, I guess it makes sense when you combine the two, because when I think like vulnerability, I think, music and all of that as well. Um, when was the first time that you saw a demand for your digital work and you really invested your time into it and decided to go do a bit more than just freelance?
Surprisingly, it was after my first piece, Moonlight, the diamond one.
Mm-hmm.
It was after that first one that like it didn't really blow up at all. I think I got like 300 something likes, but I mean it was
That's
still the
pretty
most
good.
I've ever gotten, and it was like people wanted to get it tattooed and stuff like that, and then that's when I first wanted to like sell prints and whatnot. I was breaking down
That's
every day, but like in a good way. Like I was like
yeah.
boohoo crying.
So then you had some success on social media and you started selling prints. And then how did you come to find SuperRare and get involved in that? Because August is very early in the SuperRare adoption, at least for now. I mean, I can't believe that it was already, 6, 8 months ago.
It was really through Tom, Tom Orchard or Orchid. I don't
Mhm.
know. his last name. I followed him for a minute, and I was seeing that he was posting on Rarible and on SuperRare and stuff like that. So I had messaged him, and he had sent me a nice article on like what NFTs are and like stuff in that realm. So I just like was reading up on it, and I also saw that Jasmine, black sneakers, was
Yeah.
also the same thing. So I was like, well, okay, maybe I should try and do this. So then like I had contemplated it for like a week or two, and then just like sent my application. It was terrible. The video I sent. I hope it never gets back out.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty intense that they have you do like a video application with your work. Did you have how's the application process applying to the platform? Because a lot of people ask maybe how to curate their portfolio, if they should work on newer projects specifically for the application. Did you really think about how you were going to apply, or did you just wait a little bit to develop a portfolio and send it and pray?
Oh no, actually, I did it on a whim. Like anybody that knows me knows, like my unprofessionalism is like at its peak. So I like the video I had sent. It was literally just me like grabbing my art and being like, okay, this is this piece, and then on to the next. I did it for like 5-10 seconds, and I just like stopped it and just pressed send. I just put my piece.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, I think having prints and stuff and like physical media, especially when working with SuperRare, shows like such a level of commitment, because I think it's so I don't know, I don't want to say easy to just like create digital art, but that it can be very shallow with very little like commitment, I think. But yeah, I think that's so. Sorry,
like,
go ahead.
Sorry, it definitely hits different when it's physical rather than digital.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's a big reason why I started doing video art, so I could work somewhat physical. So we've been talking about your pieces, and you mentioned your prints and all of that. And here we have a self-portrait of yours, so people can see a little bit about what your work is like and what your style is like. Do you want to talk about how you channel your vulnerability into this piece, like you mentioned before, and how you sort of work for both selling your pieces digitally and also as prints? I think that's very unique, and that's pretty interesting as well.
Let me think. Repeat that first question again.
Oh, I was just asking how with this piece, it's very visually vulnerable. It shows like you with your heart in the open, and I was just wondering how you personally come to channel your vulnerability into your work.
Okay. Let me think. Because like I used to like write poetry and stuff like that. So I mean, I don't write them down like anymore, but I just make like poetry in my head, and then like I sketch out what I'm feeling, and then play obviously records from different artists that like relate to what I'm feeling at the time, and then I just go. A lot of my work is it's freestyle. I was gonna say freehanded, but it's freestyle at least. I usually have like a general idea, or at least like a reference of myself, and then I just create around it most of the time, at least.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. Like, is there a reason why you particularly choose to portray yourself in these pictures? Because a lot of people have a hard time creating self-portraits, and that's kind of like a barrier of like, I'm the artist and this is the subject matter. So is there a reason why you decide to put yourself in the image rather than maybe like something to symbolize it?
I guess it's probably because, of course, telling your own story, not all the time, but mostly it's easier than creating or like telling another narrative from somebody else, whether it's like an original character of yours or anything else. I think, at least for me, I have like infinitely easier time telling like how I feel.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's also really interesting to see like such a visually like Black representation in an art piece, similar to Jasmine's work, where she really shows this, or Black Sneakers, that's her Twitter and social media. She has this really colorful way of showing her, identity through her pieces. And I think it's really awesome that you are so like unapologetically authentic to yourself, and like with the way you draw your waves, that hits every time. Like, it's so good. I love it so much. It's like peak Black excellence to me, and it's really rare to see in the space. I'm very curious to how you think people reacted to your work being, I guess, not what people typically assume from crypto art, and being more visually like queer and Black rather than, something more standard like minimalism.
I think people really resonate with my work because while it's definitely Black. It's not trauma porn by any like means. It's always portraying Black people in a good light. Where even if this is more of a sad, melancholic like piece, it's always it's just me and how I see myself and how I see other Black people instead of like doing just things related to trauma because we've always seen with like Black people in media, it's usually in negativity or like just nothing positive necessarily. So I think a lot of Black people, I've been told, like resonate with my work because of that, especially with my piece understanding freedom.
Yeah. Do you mind talking about that? I'll pull that up quickly if you want to. So, here we go. Oh, this piece is amazing.
Thank you. It's one of my favorites, I think, at least.
So you said that a lot of people resonate with this one, and how it really just exudes like excitement and energy, and it has so much momentum, and it's a lot different than this typically more like melancholy and vulnerable pieces that you do, at least the last one.
I think I was in a better place than the other ones. I had felt this like sense of like freedom, i.e., understanding freedom. Um, I felt like liberated, like emotionally, when I was making this one. Um, like nothing was really weighing me down mentally, at least, relative to like my other ones where I felt like sad but expressive, of course, but just you know definitely in a different headspace.
So would you say that this is still a self-portrait?
In a way, kind of. I think all of my pieces are like reflections of me, even the scissor one. Like I try to put a piece of me in every single like one of them. So it's all kind of like a
Yeah.
story, you know. At some point it'll make sense, but it's kind of like a jumbled mess right now.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can see the narrative, and like there's such a strong like language being portrayed in each of your pieces. But I do think it's really interesting, like from one piece it's like a literal self-portrait of yourself, and then in this it's a sort of more feminine character with these birds flying away. Is there a reason why you chose maybe to do an faceless, more anonymous figure that's a woman rather than yourself, to choose freedom or display freedom?
Well, initially it was because of the reference I used is from a video game that I've overplayed. My God,
Oh my God, which one?
Bayonetta. I played that game like 20 times,
Yes, yes, yes.
40 times across like so many platforms. It's crazy, but I think hmm, I guess it's more to do with like how I view myself, of course, and how I think, or at least I feel like I have like multitudes in me. Is I'm not just this static person. Like I have many different like shades to me, just like you do or anybody else does. And I guess I own my femininity as well as my masculinity. Um, yeah,
I
I
love
feel
that you reference Bayonetta. That's so iconic.
that's my favorite game.
Yeah, I love it so much. And it definitely, like, it totally makes sense.
Mhm.
You also briefly just mentioned your SZA piece, and I love that one so much. I'm gonna pull that up because I would love if you talked about that all the way here. Your first piece, so iconic.
No, I love that piece. I like it was well, I do this all the time where I would like stay on my computer for like 12 hours straight and just like work on a piece. But this one took me so long. Like I was just like well, not too long in like the span of days, but like in the amount of time, because I had did this for like 14 to 20 hours, I think. Well,
Yeah.
I might look it, but um, it took me a while. It was like between like 2 days or something like that, and I was like in the process of moving at the same time, so it was like a mess. Like when I had posted this, it was like moving day, and then like my notifications were blowing up, and like I was having like an anxiety attack because I was moving at the same time. Oh,
That's so intense. But yeah, I can definitely see that there was so much time and care put into this piece. Is there necessarily a reason why you chose this specific image of SZA or chose SZA as a subject matter at all? I think it definitely is such a great sort of Genesis piece that leads into your other more self-identified pieces. And I don't know, I think it's amazing. So if you want to talk a little bit more about like what was the thought process between or for sitting down and making this with such amazing like style.
let me think. Well, it was after, obviously after she had released her music video for Hit Different, and like this still shot was like so amazing to me. My friend Leo had posted the screenshot and it went viral, and then I was like, well, like, I mean, she's always been beautiful to me, but it was like that specific shot was like gorgeous. Like she was my first muse ever. Like this is my first portrait I've ever really done of anybody, like even myself included. Like uh, I don't know, I'm like still obsessed with like the shot itself. Like I would always go back and like just pause at that specific moment.
So have you done that for, or like, is there anything since then that's made you want to like pause a video or pause a movie and go back and illustrate it?
I mean, a couple of FK Twigs videos and like
Yeah.
I think Solange and stuff like that. But like doing celebrity portraits, like I don't. It doesn't give me the ick, but like it terrifies me kind of. I don't know why, but maybe one day I'll do like FK Twigs and Solange because people have been requesting it, but I just keep avoiding.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. That would be so amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
So, also, I'm curious if you have any other projects coming in the future, more drawings, more, you mentioned tattoos, maybe, and prints. You had a pins release earlier this month. So, like, what kind of projects are you working on, if you care to disclose?
Okay, well, theoretically, I'd like to have my merch line at some point in the upcoming months. It's just a hassle, like trying to get samples and then sizes, and because I want to ship everything myself and like do everything myself instead of having it done through a third party, which I think is probably a bad idea in hindsight, or not in hindsight, but just thinking ahead. But
But
I don't
it's
know.
so empowering.
No, right? I know I love like even shipping my own prints. It like I hate it at first because I like just knowing that I have to like manage all this and like making sure that they're all shipped and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's really nice to know when people like have your work in their house, like in their homes. It's so like I don't know, empowering to me. What else? I also want to do my tarot cards at some point in life. People keep on asking,
Yes.
God needs to release me from the shackles of like just that question because I can't escape it every single time I post. Well, tarot cards. I mean, one day it'll come into fruition. I have somebody that I have to hire for like to do the write up for it.
Mhm.
I just have, and I might just do that one of these days and just like pay them to do it, and then I'll like start drawing them afterwards.
It would be a really interesting NFT series, at least.
And now you're thinking. That would actually be pretty cool. Let me keep that in
Yeah,
mind.
that would
Um,
be really cool collectibles.
right.
Very branded.
I'm thinking. Okay, Sam, I'll DM you about that later.
But yeah, for your merch, are you gonna keep with like full portraits or these, rectangle compositions, or do you want to like switch it up and maybe mess around with embroidery? I've seen some really great pieces that are embroidered. Let us know. Keep us in the loop.
No, I definitely want to do embroidery, which is why it's like taking me so long because I'm trying to like do my research little by little every day to see which one's like the best one. Um, and they won't be like the full like piece by any means. I'll probably just end up designing something new for it. I mean, like before, I was gonna just grab like pieces from my other pieces and like do that. I think that's kind of in demand by the people, but I don't know. I think I want to do something first, similar to how like Solo Saint Sahil, like
Mhm.
his merch is like he draws something different at least for them. I kind of want to do something like that.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I'm so excited for that. I'll definitely have to keep my eyes out. And then, so these are all things you mentioned that are like physical, like tarot cards and, merch. Is there anything new that you're hoping to bring to SuperRare or to the NFT space or in the next few months?
In terms of like working on like new pieces and stuff.
Yeah, new pieces, new ideas,
Um,
anything.
Ideas, I'm kind of stuck. I was thinking about what Sean had told me um, related to my Moon series and like tokenizing them, but I'm still iffy on that because I really don't want to sell those off. But if I ever have a drop on any of these websites, it'll probably be those. Um, but in terms
That
of
would
like
be amazing.
projects, I'm currently working on a commission right now for one of my collectors, and I have a new couple pieces that I sketched out on my phone, and it's just like sitting there in my notes, just waiting to be drawn.
That's really crazy. So you use your phone and then I think you use Illustrator for these pieces. Yeah. Do you use a drawing tablet or what is the like physical work process for these?
I normally just like sketch them out. Like I use reference pictures of myself, and I just sketch them out on my phone because uh,
That's
like
so bold on your phone.
yeah, it's like the same technology Wacom uses for their
Okay.
tablets. So I just sketch them out on that, and then like I would like or on Illustrator on my computer with my mouse, just clicking pen tool around. So
Yeah.
I really want to get a drawing tablet. I mean, I got one for my sister. It's right here. It's kind of sucky. I think I'll probably just take this over when I get her iPad at some point in life. But I
Is
want to
that
get a.
just like a bamboo tablet?
It's Wacom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's one of those little shitty like $100 ones. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. Every single day, like I think about getting an iPad for Procreate, but at the same time, I load Apple products, so it's like I don't know. Like I'll get one for my sister before I get one for myself.
No, get an iPad, then you can hop on Clubhouse
No,
and use Procreate.
no. I mean, I'll think about it. They're definitely cool though. Like iPads are like cool for me instead of like MacBooks or like iPhones.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm definitely excited to see more of your work up on SuperRare, and I'm very excited to see your merch and all of that.
Thank you.
I'm also very curious about like how you feel your work has been perceived in the space, and a lot of people have been mentioning the like I guess I don't want to use the term like struggle or anything, but I guess the struggle of Black artists compared to non-Black artists or yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. In the crypto space specifically, I noticed that for me personally, there's a very niche group of collectors that
Mhm.
are mostly men, and I have a hard time with that uh, from the queer artist perspective because my market is definitely not the typical tech man. So I'm very curious if you've had any similar struggles or roadblocks or things you've needed to overcome in this space at all, if you want to talk about that.
Um, I wouldn't call them roadblocks by any mean. I mean, I'm always like unapologetically me. Like you even see me on my Twitter, like it's all like just
Yeah.
me. But what I've noticed from like artists like Bobby Kai and like Black Sneakers, and like Faith, it's just they don't really get any attention. And at least even with like Black Sneakers, who was a part of like the Gen Z thing, like she's relatively been like unheard of, at least in the space. I think that's really weird because she's a big artist. Not that followers and the following dictate your the quality of your work, of course, but we all know her to be a great artist. At least I do. And
Yeah,
it's
of
like
course.
she's not celebrated at all. And artists like Bobby Kai even um like they make unique work, and it's just nobody pays attention to it, and it's really sad. Even with my work, I mean, yeah, I have people who've collected my pieces and stuff, but it's they're usually just like one-off collectors, which I appreciate. Like I'm I love them as collectors. Like they're amazing people. I've gotten to message them and like get to know them, and I'm even working on a commission for one, and they're cool. But generally, it's just we're I wouldn't say unheard of because they know we exist, but we're just like underappreciated relative to like other big artists.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that. I think that there is, I feel like, some sort of like barrier that's unspoken from this sort of, I don't even know how I would classify it, but like group of buyers that are throwing around like 50 Ethereum on a piece. And then, these smaller artists that are hustling out here for a living. I think a great spokesperson is Sean Williams, who you mentioned before. And I had him on the show a couple weeks ago. And it was really interesting to see because he kind of broke through that barrier, but it wasn't even with his own art. It was with this kind of meme of the idiot piece with the frame on the wall, not to diminish his art in any way. I also think he's an incredible artist, but it is a bit unfortunate to see that it wasn't something of his that he had, created in his own style for to be authentic in his self, that got really viral and blew up in this space.
And I think stuff like instances like that are like disrespectful, not on his part, of course. I like it's great for him, but it's more so in the realm of like they only like us when it's kind of like a joke or a meme or whatever. But like his real art is like amazing. Like
It's incredible.
I love his art. It's so unique. Like I've never seen art like that before, and it's like they don't even like appreciate that how they should, relative to like the idiot like NFT that he had made. It's just it's strange. I don't get it.
Yeah. I think hopefully with I've noticed a lot more people adopting NFT technology for many different use cases, and I hope that brings more people to collect art in the NFT space for everyone involved, including the people creating very like or I guess I wouldn't even say niche art. All of our art shouldn't be niche art. It shouldn't have to be niche art, but art that is maybe less surface level acceptable by the mainstream group of people at the moment. So thank you so much for just sharing your input and your view on that. It's a very hot topic on Instagram, or not Instagram, on Twitter right now, and also Clubhouse. I've heard a few things discussed about it on Clubhouse. And I'm wondering, like, do you think that there's maybe a solution to this, or there's something that we can do as a community to help uplift these voices that are kind of slept on in a way?
I mean, I don't know exactly what could be done necessarily. I mean, we've, since we've done mostly what we could, to uplift ourselves and like have other people uplift us. A lot of us just deal with like having to be in a space where we don't necessarily feel wanted or appreciated by not necessarily the masses, but like the bigger people, and it's
Right.
like I don't know. I just don't get it, honestly. I would have hoped, at least for this month, that they would have done something to appreciate more, Black art and like Black voices, especially, Black art that doesn't pertain to like trauma and whatnot. But, I've yet to see any of that, unless it's, called out, then like collectors come running for to grab Black art.
Yeah.
That it has to come to that point. But I mean, I guess the real art world is kind of similar in that way. I just would have thought that I would have hoped at least that it would have been different in this space.
Yeah, it is always a bit unfortunate that it is on the shoulders of the voices that are being necessarily ignored to bring attention to it. And there are very few spokespeople that are in a position of power to, help bring these voices to light. But again, yeah, thanks so much for just, having this discussion. I think we've covered pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about today. Thank you so much for talking about your pieces and what you want to do in the future. And also like just helping address the lack of diversity in the space. That's a really important topic that I think we should cover more. And I'm really happy that you were able to join me today. Like, this was so fun. Thanks to everybody who, thanks to everybody who also tuned in. If you have anything that you want to plug, any of your socials, you can go ahead.
I guess you could just follow me on everything. My name is just Yosnier. Like, you could find me anywhere with Yosnier.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing necessarily I want to plug. I mean, I have a new piece coming out this Friday. I think I gotta start it at some point this week.
Amazing. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, just thank you again to everybody watching, and we will be taking a break as a show for I think a few weeks, but we will be back in March, and I think that's it for tonight. So thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye.